Hello, welcome to the chat. How are you doing? Good day, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining in. Yes, I expect each and every one of us to be present on this broadcast today. So let's see how that goes. But to those on here already, hi, thank you for keeping in lockdown with me. Osagbavo, how are you doing? Good day to you too. I hope your day is playing out just fine. Thank you for being on here. Philo Iyare, how are you doing? Thank you for being on here. What story are you talking about? Kindly let me know. Kindly let me know. Okay, welcome each and every one of you. If you're just joining in, you know what to do. Please take out time to like the broadcast, share, and invite someone onto the broadcast. Also, do well to turn on your notification bell. Do well to subscribe if you are yet to. But now will be a good time to poke and let them know that the chat is on and we are ready to get right into the business of the day. All right, thank you very much for that. Please do well to my panelists. Yes, please, before you come on board, do well to like the broadcast. Please take out time to like the broadcast before clicking on the link to join the conversation. The comment section, the link has been posted. If you would like to join today's conversation, please take out time to click on the link just right there on the comment section, and you'll be right here with me. So today we will be talking about domestic violence. Yes, domestic violence. Yes, domestic violence. We'll be talking about domestic violence. What a conversation or broadcast we'll be having today, I tell you. Over time, we've been having cases. We've been having cases, and I think this is one conversation that we should keep having from time to time to put ourselves in check. All right, so we have this story. We would have to read together on this one. A young lady shared this princess effect, Color Day Princess, on Facebook. She shared this, says, my mom also takes all this pain because of his money. She wants us to become someone big in life, and that includes schooling and fathering. My mom gets treated like trash because of a man who doesn't love her but ended up getting married to her. Now there is a supporting video to this uh, this write-up. But that video is very it's not appropriate for all years, but if you happen to stumble on it, it's fine. I will try to narrate the story as much as I can. So this man beats his wife up. The woman is 43 years old, and I think they are about 4 or 5, because from the video you have children. You actually have children. I think they're about two that shouldn't be up to 10 or maybe 10, but the one is way younger than the other, and you have this other one that should be 13. So having to have all of this in the home, and to the view of the children beating their mom right in front of them. And now, when we talk about mental illness, and the other time, Mr. NCBD, narrowed it down and says that starts from, from very, very tender age. And let's not forget that, it is not the event, it is the effect of that event, that leaves this scar in our heart or memory. And now, having to raise children in that kind of environment, now this woman is willing to stay just so that the kids can have, better life, or as she said, so they can go to good schools, and the place of a father will be very, very much, I don't know the right words to use, but so they get to enjoy the benefit. But what kind of a father is that? So this conversation should even be with the women. Why do we stay in abusive situations? Now that's the question that we should be having. What's that thing? What's that thing that the man says that takes away all that pain? I don't know, but I remember when I was way younger, and I remember vividly well what it feels like to be flogged or to be beaten, and it is very painful. So I don't know what you say to a grown woman after beating her All right, the link has been posted on the comment section. Women, ladies, please click on the link and let us talk. Click on the link, let us talk. Let us, share ideas. Let us learn. Let us learn. And this broadcast will be, will be opening up series for people who would want to, be brazen to share their domestic violence story. And I hope, for those willing or intending to share their story, will have a better ending, like I worked out, because, or they change. I don't know if that's a thing. If that's a thing, okay, that could be an option, or they change. But we need to have these conversations. And the men, what is happening? What really is happening? Where is this? Where's the hurt coming from? Where's the heart coming from? The young lady whose story I just read said that the man, the only offense the mom has made is marrying a man who doesn't love her but ends up marrying. That you don't love a woman, is that enough for a man to, is that enough for a man to lay his hands on a woman because he doesn't love her? But there are stories of the ones who love their wife and they still beat. Okay, then that means there are levels to this same God love, right? Please join the conversation. Let's have this robust conversation. Rosaline Omori, good afternoon to you and welcome to the broadcast. Thank you, Mommy Diaspora. Thank you for being here, Mama Dearest, and welcome to the broadcast. Welcome you watching. Thank you for being here and welcome to the broadcast, Mr. NCBD. Good afternoon. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for being here. Yes, Mr. Sivanus, welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every one of you. Okay, so yes, that was a question, and I would like for us to get for I would like for answers to be delivered on those questions. Is it only a woman, that a man does not love that he lays his hands on? So all the people that are beating their spouses, they don't love them. Is that the case? Okay, we would like to know that. So women should know not to go near any man that doesn't love. I thought they said in marriage, love is not the only thing. There are other things to look out for. All right, but please, we need to have this conversation. Then we have another story on here. While we are okay, so this lady is actually calling out for help, and I believe that she would get the necessary help. Taking the matter to social media and everybody there, already she dropped down to her address because she said she's so scared that everyone is so terrified of the father. She's so scared that she has to keep her address there. If someone is going to come save her, then they better do so. She doesn't know what's next. And that video, while the woman was still there, the man was hurling curses at her. Now this is, oh dear, I can't imagine for any reason to watch my father break down and cry. I can't. For any reason, he probably lost something or lose someone. I don't know, is sick or something, and then he's been beaten by somebody. Oh dear. It's so I don't know how the man, what's the children. Yes, I'm going to say the children because I don't know why she would stay there. So she has her reasons, fine, but then the children, these are the ones that will grow up tomorrow. Could things like this make a man to start beating his own wife? Because I mean, he grew up under this, he saw the mom took it, so he would expect. Is this why, African women or wives are going through this? Because fathers are not being better examples. All of these conversations are mind blowing, and I need for each and every one of you to give answers to this. So please join the conversation. Either you click on the link and come on here, or you give your submission in the comment section. But let's talk about these things. And then we have the story of Osinachi. The court findings, the case is still in court. The court findings, one of the neighbors that stood as a witness recently said, she stayed because she hoped, she prayed that your husband would change. So that's something. Women, that's something. While a man is beating you, you are there. No, you see, You are there hoping that the man will change. Women, the women who think this way, are they okay? I'm beginning to see reasons why, some of my panelists will say they need to go for evaluation. They shouldn't just be arrested. Honestly, we should, that should be a thing now in Nigeria. When things like this happen, we need to evaluate. We need to check them and see, so that research can be carried out. And they start looking out for these things like this early on. The man was beating you, were living like a beggar. The man was beating you so badly in front of your children, and you are praying, and hoping. Oh dear. And then we have this other story, the most recent. This two people, and with the revelations coming out from this marriage. Wow. Hey, so women, oh no, no. I think there, there's some set of women, or women, married women in Nigeria, I guess, they have like a WhatsApp group. You guys should share the number. We need to hear these things. We need to see what you people are doing. So this story has it that the woman, um allegedly, allegedly, this story is very messy. It's very dirty. I tell you, it's very messy and very, very dirty. So I'm not sure we'll be able to compile it, but at the end of the day, it was a case of at the end of the day, it was a case of domestic violence. At the end of the day, so that's the only reason why I'm bringing it on here. Else, I wouldn't have even wanted to touch the story. The story is so messy. Okay, let me give you a little of what I know on this. Also, Madam Rosalie, thank you very much. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you very much. Mary Kimade, good afternoon, and welcome to the broadcast. If you're just joining, come on quickly before I give this gist. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for being here. Mr. Insubidi, thank you very much for being here. Welcome to the broadcast. Please give me a minute and I'll come to you. All right. So, story has it that this lady spent 16 years with the man. And it's been rocky. They've not had a good relationship. Our family has tried to intervene severally, like you guys should just part ways already. They are blessed with 5 children, by the way. But for every time they part ways, they keep coming back. It's like the love wants to choke them. So they just can't stay away from each other, and they also can't be together. What kind of love is this? Mr. Isbidi, it looks like you're the one that's going to answer all these questions. So please, I hope you are jotting them down or you're remembering the question. Because me, I would like to know, if not for anything, for my own self. For my own self, what kind of love would yes, what kind of love is that? You can't stay together, still you can't be apart from each other. Oh dear. So this the one that led to her death. They said they parted, and they are just they are back together, or they were back together, and they came to the agreement and see this thing will just not work. I think one person had the final straw, and she was like, she's not having it. She's done. She was leaving. She was already leaving. She had packed things, like she had packed properties, her things, leaving the house. But the man came in, and she wanted documents in the house, and that was the only property they had left. Now let me take you back. And story has it that this woman got involved in rituals, or both of them, and she was the one doing the stuff for the man. And there are recordings, or there are write-ups out there online, suggesting or saying, or showing when, or that has details of the man asking for her to come back, or how he has gone broke, things are not going well. But because for him to try, he needs her, but he's not treating her right. And of course, that drives the woman crazy. Okay, so that happened, and so they were left with nothing, with just the property, the house where they lived as a family. That's all that they had. And she wanted, some of it. She wanted that property. The man was not willing to let go. I mean, that's all he had. So she said if she's not having this, then she was going to burn it down. None of them. Let them walk out of this, stranded. Let them walk out of this with nothing. Let them know that everything they built together, everything, it's gone to flames since they are passing ways. Now, if if this is linked to mental illness, Mr. NCBD, I would like for you to tell us and tell us the early signs. For a woman to get to that point, this is a woman who is supposed to love, or who supposedly loved her husband enough to, do the kind of things, or to stay and endure all of those things. Or is it not love? Could it be like the other woman? She just wanted, the good life, the comforts, for the sake of her children and herself. But for her to be willing to want to burn it, I don't. So okay, so the wives out there, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. There are times that we are so mad, so angry at our spouse, and all we just want to do, we just want to hurt that person so that they can feel the pain. Yes, the pain that they've inflicted on us, so they can feel it and know how much it hurts. But then again, the love that you have for this person just subdues that anger. I would really like to think that this is how it works with everybody. Else, then we need to start getting that lecture on what love really is. So for a woman to be pushed to that point where she was willing to, burn everything, thinking the guy, was going to let go, or, yes, let go, but it wasn't, that wasn't forthcoming. And she used the same chemical to douse her own self, threatening the guy that she was going to, set herself ablaze, thinking the guy would. And I mean, what would make a man to that point, would not even care what happens to her? What are the early signs of that stage? I would like for you to also let us know that she got caught in her own inferno, and she got caught in her own inferno, and she lost her life. At the end of the day, which is always like the end story of those ones that don't make it out alive. Mr. NCBD, welcome to the broadcast again.
Yes, thank you, Sister Ima. It's a pleasure to be here, and a very, very interesting and sensitive subject. Yeah, but I think I've been seeing the news obviously online. There's a lot of people saying, both the ones that are saying the little they know, and some that are saying, just trying to put two and two together on their own based on the clips and some of the posts that they have seen. But I think it's just quite unfortunate because also, we live in a society whereby um, once someone is gone, no matter what the other person wants to say, uh, that person will be wrong. So, and at the same time, it's just quite unfortunate. Death is really the deal breaker in situations like this because now everybody will see the remaining person alive as you must be held accountable for the whole thing. But it's a good thing that the law enforcement is, they should investigate anything that needs to be investigated. But if we are to go by what people have been saying and what the interview even her brother granted with Daddy Freeze and all that, you could tell that this thing is deeper than what some people have made it out to be online. And I like the way that you're very, sensitive and very, analytical about it. Because at the end of the day, this man remaining, whether it's IVD or what, there is this remaining parents of her kids, and those children needs to be, put in consideration with all of this. You can't say, "Oh, this man should go down." Who will are you? Will you go and become the father of those children? You know, as long as he has not been proven, guilty of something. But if it's like all those stories of somebody saying that, okay, there's a way toxic love can drive people to some point. I'm not saying that's what she did because we don't know for sure. We are just going by what some people are saying. Like someone will be like, there's a way a situation can be so toxic, and obviously these people cannot leave each other, and probably their bonding is called trauma bonding. I don't know, maybe they have a lot of things that they have really bonded over. You find out that even if they separate, they'll still find a way to come back together because of
Mr.
that.
Does it have anything to do with the number of years they've been together?
No, it has to do with the, yeah, number of years in a way of when they met. Yes, number of years, it has something to do with it, but most importantly is the bonding. The bonding, they call it, you can call it trauma bonding, you can call it just the bond alone, just that bonding that these people are bonded together over the years. You find out that they cannot stay away from each other. It's just like now that person has become kind of a sister in a way. Not obviously not a biological sister you can be married to, but that kind of attachment you have to a family member. So that is what it is. So no matter how much you quarrel, no matter whatever you do, you find out that these people will always feel like they are just meant for each other. So, and
So
I
it,
think, mm,
but can that also be qualified as love?
well, the thing is that there is a, they said there's a saying that once love becomes selfish, then you should understand that that is not, that is called, once love becomes selfish, it's probably like an obsession. It's not really love, because they say if you love someone so much, you will let that person go whenever they want to go, because you're thinking about their own interest. You're thinking about what makes them happy as well. So if someone tells you that I love you so much, I cannot allow you do go anywhere, that is not love. That is when, that is the number one sign that there is something wrong, and you must now kind of backtrack and try to make the relationship a bit safe, because it's part of love. It's obviously started as love, because if you look at even their photos, I think I saw some photos of their throwback photos. You find out that they were really, they really started from somewhere. But at some point, things happened, it became toxic, and all. It's just unfortunate that in some of these things, people are careful. We don't want to say all manner of things, but love is not all that is to be considered in a relationship, because sometimes people also have their own personal things they are dealing with. And if some of those things are not checked, I was told there at some point, was it earlier this year or last year? I'm not sure, that she posted something about mental health or something like that. That's what I read somewhere. So, if all that is true, then it means that it obviously is not only her, but there's something, a lot of things should have been considered, and at the same time, you cannot take any blame away from the man, because even the Bible says the man is the head of the house and all that. So sometimes when you notice that things are going in a way that is not supposed to go, you as a man, you do not deal. I don't know, we keep on telling men, I keep on telling a few guys that I've kind of interacted with, that you don't start thinking, you don't see your partner or your wife as your, maybe an opponent, or maybe your friend that you people are competing. At some point, as much as the feminists will not like to hear some of these things, at some point you have to uh, look at your wife as someone that you have to take care of, even when it seems like they're making it harder for you. And you go at any length to kind of make sure that your family is safe. And at some point I heard those stories of he was not sleeping at home. I heard it from the interview the brother had with Daddy Freeze, and I said to myself, well, some people will say, oh, that's bad. That means he was doing all that. But to me, I think that was even good. But unfortunately, he could have even stayed longer outside. If possible, go and live. Uh, you already know the dynamic, the relationship you have with this lady. You know that you guys are attached and you've bonded. You know that at some point things can be resolved. So sometimes you go and stay, even if it's 6 months. Just go somewhere. As long as you're communicating and you're talking to your kids, you're trying your best to be present in their lives somehow. But make sure that things are, you're from a safe distance until all those emotions, until all those things have calmed down. you know.
Okay,
So it's just
is
quite
this
of
sorry,
yeah.
let me something that you've just said there. So let me pick you right there on it. Looking at the first story I shared of the lady, who shared their house address and a video of the father beating the mom. I'm saying the mom just wants to stay, just so they can have better education and the place of a father would not be vacant in their life. And now there was a video of, them looking for bandage. It's almost like a norm, like it's a norm. The setting that I saw looks like a norm for the children, but she is crying out that she doesn't want the mom to die, like, the way these other people are dying, that they should come and help them. Now, there is that story. There is a story of Osinachi who hoped and prayed for her husband, until that happened. Now there is that story, and there is this story of these people. And now you are saying he should have stayed out longer. When is the right time to say, see, this thing is either going to end me? It's, should we, I think it is a the fact that we allow these people think, or these people think that they have time, that's why they still stay. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Exactly. You know, in psychology, there's something called the clarity. Sorry, there's something called the clarity of distance, right? So the thing is, at some point, if you find yourself that you spent a long time apart, there's a way you can be going back and forth with someone. Every time you guys have issues, then you come back, then you have issues, then you come back. There's some point that if you stay longer than you usually stay, probably if it's someone that stays maybe 1 week and they come back, and that person decides, okay, let me just try my best and stay even 2 months, even 6 months, even a year. Let me see what will happen. Is he not a human being like me? Then at that point, these two people will now have the clarity of mind, the clarity of purpose, and everything to know. Okay, I don't really need this person, and I feel like if we come back, it will still end up the same way because we've done this several times. So they can now have a clarity of what to do. But it's just unfortunate that, and all these issues they must be approached case by case. That's what people don't understand. Because the problem is that internet and a lot of people, they generalize things. They just use just have like a blanket approach because of somebody, maybe they use even their own experience to kind of judge another experience. It's not always the case. Like the issue of that other video you're talking about, if you kind of look into it, you find out that it's something totally different. But obviously, that's serious abuse. I think I saw that video. So let people be careful not to, just gather all these things as one because they all have different dynamics to them.
Okay, but I think you didn't get my question quite clearly.
Oh,
I'm saying
sorry, sorry.
everyone involved in domestic violence, they always, like Osinachi, she hoped and prayed for her husband for years.
Mm.
And these other people, there are people that have done 18, 16, so many years with these people. So is taking a break for 6 months, as you say, and coming back to that home, having that same problem, then you're taking another break and come. I would think one would want to really do something with their life and know where they are instead of being emotionally unbalanced. So what
Yeah.
should have been the best or first step for these people?
Obviously, like that's what I said. Like at that point of taking that break, someone that
Okay.
is thinking constructively or productively will now understand that this thing you have done it a few times. It is the same. This person has a mindset because the number one thing people need to understand before you change your mindset or before you change your life view of something, you must do it intentionally. This is what they taught us. You must do it intentionally. If you're not intentional about changing, then it will not work. So that's what I'm telling you. Once these people just having that conversation, you've told your partner or whoever it is that this is what is going on. What do you think we can do about this thing? And that person is maintaining their stand and saying that you are the pro. Instead of now saying, okay, what can I do to improve myself? And what can you do so that we can meet at the middle ground? And this person is still claiming ground. Then you need to understand that it's not going to work. Then at that point is when you're supposed to now say, okay, Since we are not seeing eye to eye on this, let us just go our separate ways to avoid other issues that can come out of this. But it's just quite unfortunate that people feel like it's by who is stronger or who is tougher, and that is where many of our people are getting it wrong. It's not about who is tougher or who is stronger. It's about respecting each other's stand, even if it means for you to leave the entire the scene. Just leave it because you know that is the stand of that person. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Mr. NCBD. Thank you. Mr. Kennedy, good day to you, sir, and thank you for taking our time to join us.
Good evening. Sorry for being late. I was busy with some issues, but I don't know what the topic of the day. Please, could you, or you go to Van Maswell, who is a very good analyst. Let me listen to him.
Okay, so we'll take you up on the offer of moving to someone else. Okay, Mr. Van Maxwell, how you doing? Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Sister Ma. Good afternoon from the sunshine city of Bolgatanga in the upper eastern part of Ghana. Good afternoon to the
Every
panelists
time you
and
and this your Ghana, must we place Ghana in every conversation?
you see, Bidi, who will say mama soup no sweet now? Eh? Well, thank you so much for having me here. And the topic is very, very interesting. You see, for me, I heard when CVD was explaining deeply, when someone need to, step aside. When you ask the question of someone need to step aside when a relationship become toxic. You see, for me, I want to explain some of these things, in my own point of view and practically with myself. Look, I define love as that which you don't want other people to do to you, don't do it to other people. That's how I define love. Because if I pinch you and I know that pinching you is going to cause a lot of pain on your skin or even damage your skin, I will not do that to you. And I wouldn't want you to do it to me. When it comes to relationship, people people enter into relationship because of what they see. Some people enter into relationship because of what they hear, and in that case, once you get involved in two of these things, which means you are not ready, that relationship in due course is going to be toxic. You see, I married my wife, I saw my wife and I picked her, I looked at her, we courted for some time, and I discovered that definitely this person is going to be a good helper to me. I did not marry my wife as a slave. No, I didn't marry my wife looking at what maybe my fathers or other people I've heard has done to their wife. No, I am matured. I know what is right and wrong, and I know when to do good or to do evil to people. You see, so we agreed and we came together and formed a family. How do you expect me now to begin to treat that same person that I so much love, that will build a family, build a future together for life till death do us part? Judging from the religious background where I come from, the Christian background, how do you expect me now to begin to treat that person, with a kind of with disdain? No, if I treat that person disdain, if you have conscience, every human being has conscience, and that conscience will always tell you that no, this thing you are doing is not good, and the ability to realize it and retrace your step makes you a normal human being. If not, the discussion he had, I think 2 days ago about, mental illness, that person is suffering from mental illness. So that is how I see it. And immediately, I will advise everybody in a relationship, man or woman, anytime you begin to see strange, things in your relationship, unlike it used to be before, Start asking questions. Start seeking for help. Start seeking for solution. Prayers cannot always, make changes in such situation. Look at it, and if you can't, as at that time, when it begin to, gravitate towards, abuse, physical abuse, my brother, my sister, just find your level. Run as far as your legs can carry you, because it will not get better. And once that hatred begin to build up,
Thank you,
it will,
Mr. Let me
it will
pick
be
you on.
difficult to control. Thank you.
Okay, but I still want you to give your submission, but I just wanted to chip in now. This is in contrast to what Mr. Ncbd said earlier, because he said, you give it time, but you are saying pack your bags and run when you see, them exhibiting a different kind of character.
No, what I said is this: is it once you begin to see different, some different, changes in what you violent changes in what you used to know, begin to seek for solutions. That is what I said. It might be psychological solutions, it might be counseling, it might be, families to come in order to find out, because we grew up in a society where, couples, when they have issues, they run to their family, for advice. People come together, call them together, and begin to find out what really happened. Everybody will begin to explain, and once they find out where the problem is, they will apportion blame and allow them, pray for them, allow them to go back and, continue in their family, in their marriage. But I am saying, in a situation when all this thing has been exhausted, yet the problem continues, please run as fast as your leg can carry you. Because if you continue, the more you stay there, once that envy, that hate, that anger is building, it will never go down. It takes the Spirit of God to bring such person backwards. It always leads to disaster. Once you see this thing, these signs, my brother, my sister, begin to run, because you do not know. Look at, like you said about Osinachi, there are so many beatings that were going on before. Nobody knows the particular one that, affected the heart. And it wasn't that day. It wasn't that day that lady died. She kept it within her, maybe started taking pills, started taking analgesic and so on and so forth to, to relieve, her from the pains. But at the end of it all, she died. You see, these are some of the things we need to guide against. I am marrying in order to survive and build a family and take care of the children God has blessed us, not to die and leave them, for the society to train them. That's my submission. Thank you, and God bless you.
Ima,
Yes, sir.
sorry. Before Mr. Kennedy speaks, I just wanted to tell you that, you see, I was not saying it's clear, it's good I just point it out. I was saying, like, there's this thing called the clarity of distance. So I'm not saying that you give the time inside the same space. No, I'm talking about once you find out that it has become that too toxic and unsafe, you separation is not a bad thing. Separate for some time. And if you guys ever come back to have a conversation and you realize that the whole thing is still the way you left it, then that is when you can now say, okay, we have seen that this thing cannot work. Then let us go our separate way. But sometimes, even without conversation, some people will just, after separating for some time, you find out that one person will just, or the two of them will admit where they think they are failing, and they will even apologize and even say, okay, they will work it out. So that's what I meant by that. It's not like you just stay in the same space and you're giving it time.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification, Mr. NCBD. Thank you very much. And I also wanted to add something to what Mr. Vi Maxwell said. Yeah, he talked about physical abuse, and there is the verbal abuse too. All of this, but we'll be coming back to we will be talking about all of these things shortly. Mr. Kennedy, okay, good to have you again. So, talk to the men this time around. I cited three incidents here. The first one is the Osinachi's case. Now, that domestic violence left one person dead, the other person in prison. There's the other case of the recent one, the IVD and the lady. She now the lady is there now. This one has ended up in the prison. In the prison, he's been arrested rather. So you see, everybody it never ends well for either of the party. One is gone, the other one's life is as good as gone as well. So talk to the men. At what point should they walk away from domestic violence?
At what point should the men walk away or the women? Which one?
No, the men this time around because at this point I don't know if it's safe to say the other person dies and that's it. But the man is going to be in prison. His life is still alive, but his life is as good as over. So I
Okay.
mean, this we get something too.
Okay, thank you very much. I always appreciate you. I want to say hello to viewers at home and viewers abroad and panelists and people in the comment section. This is a very difficult situation. It's a very difficult topic. I'm not a psychologist. I didn't study psychology, but I've had the opportunity to talk with a lot of people because the kind of business I do. So I think it would have been better for psychologists to handle. But anyway, you see, this we are talking about toxic relationship here. It depends on what we mean by a toxic. What is toxic to some people might not be toxic to other people, and it depends on the level and issue we get to before you declare the issue toxic. It's neither here nor there. According to our politicians, they will always say it's neither here nor there. It's the fault either comes from the man or from the woman. Like a lot of people will say, this verbal abuse from the women too, cause a lot of psychological imbalance in men. Some women, they don't know when to stop, they don't know when to apply brakes when they talk vulgarly to their husband. And there are some kind of mental torture that you will get from a woman that you cannot it only takes by the grace of God for you to be able to walk away. I think I would take side with somebody who said you should walk away when you find out it's becoming toxic. Becoming toxic doesn't actually mean there has to be physical abuse. I want to use my very self as an example because the first time I got married in Japan, it was kind of toxic. Toxic in the sense that I was being tortured mentally in the sense that the woman will not want to sleep with you, the woman will not want to be at home, the woman will always go to the parents' house when you need her most, and she wouldn't want to cook when you want to eat, and sometimes the woman would just want you to call it a quit by yourself. She wouldn't want to be blamed, and that thing will give you a lot of mental torture. And if you are not careful, you lay your hands on her, you get into trouble. And women are not physically strong as men, and you might just lay your hands on her and she's gone. And after that, you begin to blame yourself and you go to jail. So it was at the end when I asked her to tell me what was wrong, and she said, let me tell you right from the onset, I never actually loved you. I said, but you told me you loved me. She said, yes, I just said that for me to play along and all that, but I never actually loved you. Do you know that when she told me that the following day we had a divorce? And after that divorce, I became happy and got somebody else that I've been with for the past 21 years or so. So it actually depends on what you mean by toxic. This mental torture that the women will give to women, the way we are wired is quite different from the way women are wired. You see, when a woman, your wife, refuse to sleep with you, refuse to be with you on bed for some time, that apprehension can cause bodily harm on your partner.
Okay,
So,
okay, he's back.
okay.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah. So it's women the physical outlook of women look they pretend to be very kind outside, but when they are inside, what they will do to you is not what people will even envisage that they'll be doing to you when you are at home. But what, like I said, you have to be able to know when to walk away. When it is time to walk away, you just walk away instead of you committing that heinous crime and going to jail. But it's not everybody that can take it. One, you see, men spend a lot to, I wouldn't call it acquire their women, but men spend a lot to get hold of their women. And even when you are in a relationship or when you are married, you spend a lot to secure, kind of business, some kind of businesses or whatever for your women. And some men will not want to lose all those things to, they don't wouldn't want to lose all those, investment they have made. They will want to stay there. One day, one time, the woman is probably going to change. Human beings don't change. Human beings can only adjust, and most especially when they keep some bad friends and so on, they want to behave, they want to treat their husband the way other women are treating their husbands and so on. So there's no way the woman will change, but it's left for the man to now understand that it's becoming too dangerous for him to stay, and then you just leave. One of my Japanese friends used to tell me that marriage is the best institution because there is marriage and there's a divorce. So if you are not contented, if you are not comfortable with the marriage, you just get a divorce paper and you divorce, and your life will be in order again. So that's where I have to stop. The people should walk away when it's time to walk away. You don't have to stay so that you don't get into trouble. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, thank you for that. You said that women, the things, when they are angry, the things that they say to their partner. It's amazing because I think women, or we don't think that our words in that moment, have an impact on you. The expression, you guys do not react, you just act like nothing. So I think the woman even gets more angry that you are not, responding, or the words are not getting. So it's amazing to know that. I don't know if this works for, maybe 100% of the men out there, or a larger percent of the men out there, but this revelation is quite coming as a surprise. I don't know if you know it this for the first time. Also, say something. So, Mr. Kennedy, let us know how. So, is it only when a man or a woman is angry at the word she says? Is that the only time that the man takes the word seriously, or for every time a woman says something, a man actually hears her twice?
The fact is, this when we are growing up, they say love is blind. I don't know if love is actually blind. Two people have to actually love themselves before they come together as couples. It's not easy to love each other. That is why in Japanese parlance, they will say, I don't know, some of our audience here might understand Japanese. Kata omoi. Kata omoi is, kata is a shoulder, and when something is heavy on your shoulder, you pull it down. Kata omo in English is one way love. One is loving the other more than the other. One loves the partner more than the other. There's no equal. There's no balance in love. So when there's no balance in love, that is when people, partners use incendiary, statements on their partners. So when there's actually when there's real love, it is very difficult to tell your partner something that is very incendiary, something that will touch, that, so something very damaging to her, mental capacity. You understand what I'm saying? But if you don't love her, if the love is gone, you can say anything. If he wants to live, let her live, or if he wants to live, let him live. But that love has to be there, because you find it difficult even when you tell your woman you are stupid, you are useless, you are nonsense. After maybe 20, 30 minutes, you go back to her and say, oh, honey, I'm sorry for using that statement. And she will laugh and say, no, no, I didn't even feel you were saying anything. I didn't even, recognize you were saying something. So that's when there's no love. That's when, after using such incendiary statement on your partner, you both of you will be going, different ways, and no one want to apologize. You see, the moment you don't apologize, your heart keeps, going apart and all that, and you don't even want to see her when you're coming home from work. You don't want the woman to be at home when you're coming home from work. If the woman is using such statements, or such, you know, vulgar languages on you, you don't even want to see. You even want to cook by yourself and eat by yourself. You don't want her to cook for you. It's when the love is there. You call her when you finish your work, that I'll be coming. I hope you're going to stay home. I hope you're going to wait for me and all that. So It's actually very difficult. It's not easy. These are people that grew up in different terrain, people that grew up with different families, different kind of financial background and all that. It's always very difficult. But when you have that, that good relationship, when you have that coupling, both people they match each other, you see that even 5, 6, 7 years, you will not even have quarrel in the home. So, but when it's becoming toxic, just walk away. It's better for you to just walk away. And the moment you walk away, don't come back. Please. The moment you walk away, don't come back. Because nobody is ready to change. People can just adjust because what they were benefiting from you, they can no longer benefit it because of the separation. They want that benefit to come back to. They might tell you everything is okay again, and when you go back to the same issue will keep repeating itself, and you end up killing that person. Because everybody that has walked out of a relationship and come back, about 80 or 90% and ended up killing their partners. So that is my experience. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you also agree? Yes, agree that people who are going through domestic violence should give their partner time,
No
maybe in
time.
form of
Just
taking
just
out,
just walk
coming back.
away. Just call it a quit. Just walk away. Get somebody else. One man's meat is another man's poison. Mandela said one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. If a woman is not good for you, the woman could be good for somebody else. If a man is not compatible, is not you are not contented with a particular man, another man might come and take you as an angel. That's the way I say it. You don't have to overburden yourself, trying to, in Nigeria, that stigma is heavy. We have that heavy stigma. This woman not supposed to stay with husband, or this woman not they stay in hand. You don't know what the person they pass through. People go they laugh the person, and with that laugh now you want to stay. Like some people in the church are always saying God, 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 Christ, Christ, because you don't want to expose your family issues in church or whatever to your friends so that they don't laugh at, so that stigma will not be there. You end up being killed, So I don't know.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, thank you. I'll move on to some other person, but thank you very much for being on here.
Thank you.
And G Simon, thank you also for that notification. Thank you. If you're just joining, welcome to the chat. We are talking when when to walk away from domestic violence, how long, how much more should you endure, how toxic is toxic, what are the things, what are the pointers. But even before we get to that point, where there are all of these triggers, we'll be talking about the little things, those little foxes, those little those little things that we do not count as nothing, that needs to be put in check, because they turn out to to grow, to sprout, and create more dangers for us. So please stay tuned. Please stay tuned. Mr. Chibuzo, good day to you. Welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, good evening. Good day, everyone. Uh, anyway, domestic violence is just unfortunate. There's nobody who can avoid it because it's a very big challenge for both men and the woman. And on the course of that, anybody can provoke each other, and a lot of things can go wrong during that argument. Nobody will say, "I want to kill my woman today," or "I want to kill my man today." Though it do happen on certain occasions. But what happens is sometimes all these things begin with the relationship. Some people did not date before they get into marriage. They did not experience their character because they have money. They just go there, see a beautiful girl or the woman they like. They said, "Oh," they just go there and do things very fast. Then, and you never tested each other during the time of your relationship. You need to test each other so that you will know your character. You know her character. The woman also will know your character. So, but still, most of them will still hide their character and get into that marriage. So, on the process, a lot of things will still start going wrong. The woman will start seeing another man, the man will still start seeing another woman. So financial problem, uh, 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 you know, some characters that within the both of them, you know. So all those things can cause a lot of damages into the relationship. Then, especially when you meet a man that is so obsessed with the woman, when you tell the man, leave this woman to go, it's very difficult for him to leave that woman to go. Sometimes they will take a drastic measure, such like capital punishment, which will result to death. Then later they will regret it. Well, they have done it, they have done it. So, like one of the panelists said there, the best way of avoiding all these things is when you see the danger. If there is a possibility of divorce, you divorce. If there's a possibility of that separation, then you do so. I've been into a relationship with a woman. So, but what happened is, I used to, discipline the woman anyway. But at the time, I sleep and wake up. I say, no, I can't do this again. Instead of me to do this, what I would do is to, caution myself, distance myself. So one day I called the woman. I asked her, listen, this is what I'm experiencing with you. Please, I will give you time to think about it. I give her like 2 weeks. I said, come up with a solution because this is going in a wrong direction. After 2 weeks, she came. She said she have concluded her mind. I said, what did you come up with? He said, if I want to stay with her, she will stay. If I don't want to stay with her, she will go. But I noticed that 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 idea she gave me, those answers she gave me, is not gonna work because this is something that has been warning and dealing with her all the time. So now what I did was I said, okay, woman, what you're gonna do is I will give me distance. I will give you a distance so that we will be partner. We will do everything together. I will never betray you in terms of finance as far as you are with me. But when it comes to normal relationship, we are not gonna get involved. Then she agreed, and that is how we pull our shot. Everybody go to their separate way. But today, even though you see me and her, you wouldn't even know that we are divorced. We do things together. We do everything like we're family. But when it comes to the area of lovemaking, we are no more. So this take a matured mind for you to handle such a situation. A woman that you love, a woman that you care for, a woman that care for you, that love you. Or maybe I don't know what is training in her mind because at the end of the day, something will come up as in a relationship. Like I told you, she start seeing another man, and you start seeing another woman. So a lot of changes will come into the marriage. So what happens is most men, when they notice this kind of changes, let them be matured enough as a man, because women cannot finish, man cannot finish. You know, so you do what is necessary. Make sure you distance yourself. Be a matured man. I know in our home, our parents stay together no matter the situation. But our parents then is not the kind of parents we have today. Things that we are seeing today is not what our parents see. A lot of things have changed in terms of our life and relationship and our atmospheres. So there's a lot of new things and bad things that is out there. People can quickly adopt. So now, divorce is not our pattern of marriage. But when we go to Western world, we find out that, listen, when something is going wrong, instead of you to hang on it, or you on the process you can be killed, you can punch the person will die or get sick or get injury. So the best thing you have to do is to distance yourself, depart your own way, everybody will go their own way so that there will be peace in the relationship, you know. So in actual sense, let everybody, those who exercise such a character, let them, try to behave themselves so that they won't get into trouble. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chibuzo. It's good to have you on the broadcast. Thank you. And this comment is by Mommy Diaspora. She says, when we look deep into the background of some women that stays in abusive relationship, they themselves are from an abusive and a broken home. They have not been shown love. They do everything to hold on. I read this comment. I read it about 3 times because I don't know. I felt that, and I was going to ask you, in CBD. I believe that there are, okay, like I shared that a story of a video I watched and how you have little children of, like the one I read sometime this week of the man that beat his wife till it beat her to death, then proceeded to, use the iron on her to make it look like she was electrocuted. The person who gave the true recount of that play out was their 8-year-old daughter. And now I just shared of a man, that beats his wife, a 43-year-old woman with grown children, who had to record and post on the internet for people to come rescue them from their father. Now, he has children who are saying that these days, do they have a way of, what are the effects of these events?
Yeah. Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Ima. Well, I'm glad Mr. Chibuzo said quite some of the things that I was trying to point out. Because the thing is that I'm looking at this thing mostly from a more clinical and maybe more analytical perspective because of my own knowledge in some of these things, you understand? And the thing is that we cannot, in this present day and age, especially the past, let's say, 10 years or 15 years, especially 2022, if you're going to do anything with someone, you cannot use the same method of we are going to make it work by, or it will, every other thing can be handled. This is a generation, or this is an era of understanding that a lot of people have already decided the kind of life they want to live. So you must be ready to have conversations with people. Don't, no matter what, have conversations, understand what somebody wants and what they can handle. There are some that will tell you that I would like to do this, maybe I'm not yet there, but I would like to be like that. There's something like that you can work with. But when someone is telling you from the onset that no, 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 the kind of life I want is like this and like that, and you're there trying to put force yourself into it, thinking that everything will work out for you, I think is not. We are not. That person is not being realistic. So have conversation, like what you had, Mr. Chibuzo said. He went his way. He came back. He said, "Okay, where are we now?" And the person said, "No, this is how it is. You take me like this or you don't." Then, okay, I can't do that. Move along. I mean, move on your, go on your own way. And we are still okay. Nobody fought each other. That is how it should be done. Because this is not those days. And that's why I'm saying that the people who constantly, who are still kind of abusing their, physically abusing their partners, these are people that have not evolved mentally. These are people that have not evolved mentally. They've not taken those steps to educate themselves and also to evolve. So they are still using this old method of you're now trying to, you cannot take somebody from 2022 and go and take that person and bring a mindset of probably 1995 or 1985 and you want that person to behave. No, that person, and this thing about change, don't believe that somebody will change. That's where people get it wrong. Something about change is a conscious effort. Somebody will decide, I want I know that this is something I'm not doing well in, and I want it to change. And if that person is not thinking in that way, there's no way it will work. So it's not a matter of he will change, she will change. No, there's nothing like that. The person must first realize, the person must first personally, not because you're telling them. Even if you tell them, you can tell them maybe once or twice and in a very respectable manner. If they see reason to what you're saying, that, oh, yes, what you're saying is true, because somebody else has mentioned it to me at some point and I need to really work on that. That's different. But not like you're struggling to pass that message across to that person and that person is still not accepting it, and you're hoping that that person will change. The person will not change. So change is a conscious, practical effort to to achieve that change. So that's what I just think that people need to understand, that have conversations with people, understand them, especially in this day and age. Whether you like it or not, the world is not the same way it was back then. And
So still operating on the template, or with that template of the marriages of back then. Uh,
yes, yes.
that's
Somebody
where the
will say, my father told my, I saw my uncle told his wife to do like this, and she did, and they are back. It's not in this world. You need to, okay, if everything has changed, why do you think that things in marriage will not change? In the Western world, where many of us are, you find out that uh, that there's a lot of, the rate of domestic whatever has really gone down. Okay, you might say the downside is now there's a rise in divorce and everything, but still there are a lot of people that are there. And that is because of everybody entering into things consciously, knowing exactly what they are getting themselves into. You understand? So have conversations, understand people's life viewpoints. You cannot, for example, you cannot have a woman that is always telling you that I can't share you with anybody, oh, that if I see any girl around you, then a few years later, you're going to bring another woman that you say, this is my maybe wife or concubine or somebody somewhere. And you'll be surprised if, for example, that same lady at some point now physically harm you or even harm the other woman. How will you claim to be surprised when that person over the years have put that point across to you that they cannot tolerate that kind of thing? That's the kind of person they are. So you understand. So everything must be dealt with, from the background, from the foundations. You know?
all right, Mr. SVD, thank you very much. You used some really funny analysis there. Thank you for that. We have, oh, thank you. I'll move on to the next person now, Mr. Van. But there's a question here for you. The barrister, thank you for being on this broadcast. The barrister is asking, does lack of finance actually affect marriage? And if yes, how did our parents sustain their home back in those days?
Is that question? Can I attempt that question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you see, these days, finances, yes, affect marriage because, for instance, what is the reason of bringing, taking someone's daughter into your house as a wife, and you don't have the finances? Maybe you had a very large wallet, and something happened. Everything just crumbled, and there is nothing to lay hand on, no place to fall back, to. Definitely, it is going to affect that marriage or that relationship. Yes, it is in a very big way. You see, our parents in those days, like in CBD said, if my father were to be alive today and see most of the things that is happening today, the only thing he will ask, oh, this is a new generation. A new generation. That is what he said, this is a new generation. Because most of the things that happened in the past is no longer obtainable today. In those days, a man may not even see his wife to be, and all of a sudden, you see your parents will go marry for you, bring the woman to the house. Maxwell, this is your wife. And you have nothing to say. You have no authority to say, no, 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 I cannot do this. But today we make our choices. In fact, today when our parents try to suggest, to us or for us who to marry, bring, we say, no, mama or daddy, I am capable enough, I am old enough to select who I should spend the rest of my life with. This is, the reality today. And we make our choices today, unlike before. Before, people marry, there were so many, places. People marry, they encourage polygamy in those days. So when they marry, you see people, so many farms, people are going to farm, everybody is going to farm. And those days, a rich man is determined by the number of wives, the number of children that can till the land that you have, and how much, produce that you can produce in your farm. That was the time they respect people so much. You see the king of yam, the king of what they call in Igbo Ezeji, in Hausa they call it Sarikin Doya, Sarikin Norma, the best farmer, the king of farm, and so on and so forth. These were things, they were all obtainable those days. Nobody cares. But today, the limited resources now that we have comes to, translate it into the family, would definitely create a lot of problem in the marriage. Money answereth all things, but money cannot buy life. Money is a security that saves the marriage in terms of needs within the house. There is nothing you cannot do with money. Even to let me say, take care of heart transplant, kidney transplant, you need resources to do all those things. If you don't have them, if you don't have that money, then what are you going to do? Yes, money has a very vital role to play. I call it the oil in a marriage, because if that thing is not there, your woman cannot be drinking so kiss, what we call so kiss. They call it so kiss, drinking
Mr.
Gary every day in your house.
You make me sound like if there is no money, a woman will not stay or a woman would not give you peace.
You see, all of them, all are involved. If there
Oh,
is no money, there is no capacity, financial capacity to take care of that woman in that house.
all right, Mr.
Your
White. I'll move on to someone.
your respect will begin to dwindle to a level where it will generate into so many other things.
All right, Mr. White. Thank you very much for that. I'll move on to Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy, I hope you're still here.
Yes, I'm still here.
Please, Mr. Kennedy, react to that comment that without money, a woman would not give a man peace.
Okay. First of all, let me recommend two topics for you. If you don't like it, it's okay. There are so many shootings among our people in mostly in America and a few in Europe because of these brothers bringing their wives to America and their wives becoming, any more than them and throwing them out of the houses and shootings occur and they kill. Sometimes they kill the woman, they kill the mother-in-law and all that. So if it's possible for us to dwell on it any other time, that will be okay. And you
Please
see
say
the
that
trend.
for a minute. Please say that again.
The shootings going on in America and sometimes in Europe among our people, our brothers killing their wives because their wives are no longer, loyal to them because they are earning more and their wife pushes them out of the house and killing their mother-in-laws. I think that should be a very good topic to discuss. If you don't like it, it's okay. I'm just suggesting. And and
Okay, what's
and
the
and
second
there's a
one?
Okay, and there's a dangerous trend going on in Nigeria right now, where men or women want to prank their boyfriends and their girlfriends and their wives and so on, and very soon we'll be experiencing shootings and killings among these people. I don't see any reason why somebody should want to prank the person he or she loves, and at the end, about 90% of the prank is they are going wrong, and If we don't arrest this dangerous trend, there might be problems very soon. It's my suggestion anyway.
All right, thank you. Duly noted,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
Okay. So yes, I quite on that. Where's the noise coming from? Okay. I quite understand when somebody Van Maxwell is trying to say without money in a marriage, there might be a problem. I think that is true. Money is very, very important. When during the days of our parents, like Maxwell said, those days it was how many wives can you take for yourself, and how many children are you able to have, and the proliferation of children and wives were the order of the day then. And they were basically farmers. All your children, the money you take them to the farm, and they cultivate a large acres of land, and you are seen, people see you as a rich man and all that. But these days, you see, this is a new generation, and there's an evolution. The world has changed, and you see, most especially a country like ours, where you have this stigmatization when your neighbor is very rich, and the other neighbor is poor, and probably when you're going to church, this one has his or his children in the car, and the other one is working in the rain and in the sun and all that, and there's no money when they go to market. The money has a lot to do. And you see, it's like in a developed country where virtually almost everybody has this money to spend. Some people might not be rich, but they have the money to spend. Like in Africa, where people are extremely very poor, and some are extremely rich, and even I don't think we have a middle class a lot. People are extremely rich and people are extremely poor. That stigma is there. And even when you are in school, the children will bully the other children that are from poor homes and all that. So what would a woman do when a woman has no money to fix her hair, no money to fix the nails? She cannot buy a car. The husband has no bicycle, has nothing. That has got a lot to do. You see that sometimes when you give a woman money and the woman smiles, and she's even at night, she will even be the one to go to bed, and she's waiting for you to come. But if you don't give her money, you call her, she tell you she's tired and all that. I think money has got a lot to do. So every woman that is always telling you they are tired are the women that are not getting, 90% are the women that are not getting anything from their husband. If they are satisfied, the woman will always go and wait for you. You'll just be asking you to come to bed. I've been waiting for you, and not that she will cook. So how many women, if you don't give them money, how many women are going to cook for the husband? This is not the time has changed. This is not the days of our parents. Money answered everything. Money answered everything. And some people will just come from abroad. They want to marry, even if the women, even if they don't know these people coming from abroad, they are ready to marry because they know the money is there. So let somebody from the village make a phone call across to a particular woman and say he wants to marry. The woman will say, no, I want to see you first. But if you live abroad, no one wants to even see your face. They will even say yes before they see your face. That's money. Money is strong. Money answered everything. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you for your submission, Mr. Kennedy.
My
Okay.
mother, sorry, ma. My mother said, money said you should not talk when he is not at home. That is the language of money. Even when I go if money is not at home, don't talk. That's what my mother told me. That's what money said. So if money is not at home, why should you talk? If you talk, they will carry you now.
All right, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you for your submission. Thank you so very much. The barrister, thank you for being here. But the barrister has come out to say that he has even seen wealthy men divorcing their wives. So, what is that? If money is supposed to be that factor that
Yes,
that sees to me that everything is all right. So, what then goes wrong?
yes, it doesn't mean that rich men don't divorce. We are talking about take the ratio of rich men that are divorcing their wives. How many have you seen? Probably in every 10 you have one. So that average is not that one not that bad now. So that one not the poor men not the divorce. You never see poor man when marry four wives, the whole four wives come out. They now. Is it because the rich man is conspicuous? That is why you see that the rich man had a divorce. If 1 in 10, 1 in 20 divorce, that is a minute and or infinite number. But look at the total average of rich. How many rich men? How many governors you don't see say divorce their wives? How many presidents don't divorce? Look at it now. How many commissioners don't divorce? How many ministers you don't see say divorce? So not plenty now. Now poor people now the man, it will take her easy. Oh. Money say may you not talk if you not the house. So that is money.
All right, Mr. Kennedy.
Brother Kennedy, Sister
Oh,
Emma,
yes, sir.
see, Brother Kennedy, in Ghana here, they said Seka Yemoja.
Mm.
Seka Yemoja. He say money is blood. If you don't have blood in your body, you are dry. You dry.
Yes,
You go
now.
become
Yes,
Paco
now.
now.
Yes, now.
You go become Paco. You see, Seka Yemoja. Money is blood. Money is oil that lubricates the family. I'm telling you, if it is
Yes.
not there, it is difficult.
But
All right, let's move on.
mommy diaspora is writing something here. You see that now rich people now not they beat their wives. So rich people not they we don't even get time to touch our wife. How you gonna touch your wife?
Mr.
Women now.
Kennedy, I think these are the set of women who have refused to leave. These are just the set of women who have refused to leave in their own case of domestic violence. I mean, that's what we are talking about here. Is it the fear of, is it truly for the children that these women stay till, they lose it all at the end of the day? The other one that is crying for help is saying the mom says she wants them to attend good schools and have the place of father should not be vacant in their life. All of these people keep giving excuses, and that's why I am back to Mr. Nsibide. Mr. Nsibide, by the authority of your field, talk to us about these triggers. What are the day to day, looking at the Nigerian typical life day to day. What are those things that we do that is pushing us to that point where there's a way you step on someone, like we have this talk, like, oh, as you go out, anybody that steps on you, just say sorry. Or people are going through a lot in Lagos. That's just something we say. Don't look for anybody's trouble. Mind your business. So you see, you get to that point that somebody just steps on you and you just lose your cool. What are those things that take us to that place? I really hope you understand the question.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ima. And also with the understanding of Mr. Chibuzo, because I know he was maybe waiting. Well, the thing is, uh, uh, there's something called emotional dependency. And before I say something very briefly on that, yeah, I am a bit, I kind of halfway agree with what Mr. Kennedy said, because money is really important. Also, we all know that, but not when we are talking about issues like domestic violence and maybe mental health that leads to that, because we have seen quite a lot of cases whereby money has nothing to do with it, and also it depends who you're spending the money on, because some people they came from money themselves, probably from a silver spoon background, and so they are not actually thinking in that way, and yet many of them still have the same issues. And uh, unless if even if when you get someone out of poverty, for example, let's say somebody came and married a lady that's probably from a very poor background, and then that is when one might be thinking, oh, this lady is afraid of going back to where she comes from and all that. But as human beings, it's natural for us to adapt to every situation. And before you know, we start seeing ourselves, familiarizing ourselves with the challenges of that present place that we are, not minding even where we're coming from. So that is just human nature. So you find out that is not money cannot really solve a lot of those things. But that is another topic that we can go deep into, maybe another branch of discussion. But let me just quickly talk about this emotional dependence, because that's one thing that has really affected some of our people, not our people, everyone in the world. Because for you to be able to now confirm that you love someone, then you must make sure that you've kind of done a lot of self introspection to make sure that you are not emotionally dependent on your partner. Because at that point, that is not just love. That is now where we talk about um, toxicity. It's not just love. Because let me give you a few kind of scenarios about this emotional dependence. For example, when you just have this kind of idealized view of your partner, like something that is just you've made up in your head how your partner should be, and also or you have a belief that you cannot live without this person, or you have a belief that these are the only people that can give you that kind, a certain type of happiness or security, or you are the kind of person that is always afraid of being rejected from that person, or you constantly need assurance from that person. And also, maybe you kind of feel maybe empty, or you're kind of anxious when that person is not around. Before you know, you're asking, where are you? All that. When are you coming? Sometimes we think it's love. That's where we keep on, we make a lot of mistake. In the kind of society that we are in, we think it's love. We say, oh, very loving partner, asking every 2 minutes, where are you? Are you now on your way? Are you? That is another symptom of being emotionally dependent on someone. Or over possessiveness, feelings of jealousy, you are becoming too much, or you just every time you want to know where somebody is, like I just said, or you can't even trust the person's feeling for you. When somebody tells you that, okay, thank you, I love, and you say, are you sure? Are you sure? Or all those things, that is emotional dependence. And that is the root cause of all this problem. So for you, if you can deal with all these things and know that you are self-sufficient and all that, and you still love someone, then that is true love. That is the kind of love that is not toxic. But if your love is depending, or if your love is existing because of what you feel that you're benefiting from that person emotionally, then at some point it will fail. So I just said, let me bring that to our consciousness. My sister.
Okay, thank you very much. Some of the things that that you mentioned, I can relate to a couple of them. So I hope our viewers out there, were listening attentively. Even better, you can always go back to to check up on some of the things that he has mentioned, and see how you can relate that, connect that, and begin to work on it. Okay, so Mr. Uh, Insibidi, before I move on to some other person, I was wondering if there are more signs to look out for in our dealings.
Yeah, obviously, like this emotional dependency I talk about, when it's too much, you can't say, this thing of saying love. Love has been so the word has been so kind of overused to the point that some people don't understand when they are being emotionally dependent, and when they are also being so obsessive and selfish. So they think everything is love. No, the safe love is the one that I said, like, um, you don't really, you just love that person. The fact that you, even if that person tell you that you say you love me so much, now I'm telling you that I don't want this anymore. I want to go. And be like, okay, are you happy? Once you can see that that person really wants something and you're able to allow that person go, that is love. Because it's not just benefiting you. You're now looking at things from the perspective of that person also. You understand? So, and then also, when you see that somebody is no longer comfortable sharing their issues with you as a person, as your partner, or then that's when you begin to understand that there's something really going wrong in the psychology of that person. Or maybe it might be because of you or something you guys you did or whatever. Then you try to approach that person, and if that person is kind of still kind of holding back and is not communicating the exact thing that is going on with him or her to you, then you understand that okay, maybe you can bring a third party who is probably like a professional or a counselor or a respectable friend, family friend or relative. You say, please, can you help us ask? And I'm telling you that when that your partner even see the you know the extent that you're going to make sure that they are okay, that partner, even if that person is drifting away, that person will come back to their senses. But unfortunately, before you know, some of us, because of the kind of background that some of our people have come from, they want to use force for everything. And that's the problem. You want to start enforcing that, what do you mean? You cannot talk to me. Before you know, it's not by power, it's by understanding. It's not a matter of who is wrong or right sometimes, it's a matter of who understands, who has a better understanding of the situation. You understand, my sister?
Yes, I'm following. I don't want interruption, so I just put my mic on mute.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
could.
I don't want to go too deep because of the other people on the panel, so they can
All
also speak.
right. I was just following you. Just I was just straight up following you, checking out the things that you were talking about. But thank you for sharing that. Thank you so very much, Mr. Vi Maxwell. If I may ask, please, you've been married for how many years?
Mm. I've been married for 8 solid years now.
Wow. That's indeed that's solid. That's solid. Have you had moments where you got this close? I think I heard someone once say it's in every man to be a beast. So have you had that beast mood of yours? And if you have, how were you able to suppress it? Like, have you had that moment where you just wanted to raise your hands on your partner? Now I'm asking this question, and that's if you have, please share how you were able to suppress it. And that's if you did. Okay, I'm sure there are people who are struggling with this in be it medically, spiritually, financially, but they get to that point. So probably they get to hear this and they get to adapt that method. Now, even if this is not the case with you, right? If you could just share how best you think a man, at this point, or a woman, well, mostly I would say a man, because I mean, the woman barely wants to leave the house. She wants to stay and keep you know doing the whole thing, but the man has the opportunity to leave. But if you have something for either the man or the woman, that will be just fine.
Okay, thank you, Sister Emma. Look, it takes maturity and a high level of spirituality to overcome some of those things. You cannot just imagine you taking, a woman from different background, from different tribe. Like here, my wife is a Fanti from the Cape Coast, what they call a central region. And my father is from Upper East region, Bolgatanga, in the northern part of it. My family here, my father's tribe is Kusasi tribe, from the Kusasi tribe in the northern part of Ghana. And this lady that I'm married to is a Fanti from central region. You see, it is very, very difficult. And there are so many of us in this platform here, some that married, outside Africa, not just even a different race automatically. It takes, maturity to stay in such. You see, I will tell you my experience when I was in Liberia. That was the first time I raised my hand on a woman, and after that, in fact, I saw myself less a man. And I called this lady from Maryland County, Global Tribe. In fact, I immediately that thing happened within 3-4 days. I said, no, I will not continue with this relationship, I do not know what will happen. I just cut it off and gave her some money and asked her to go. So since that time, within 8 to 9 months, I was, back in Nigeria. So when I couldn't marry because my experience sending me outside Nigeria to go and spend 3 years, 8 months where my wife is in the barracks, I said I will not marry. Because if the woman misbehaved there in the barracks, they will not blame the organization under the Nigerian, government that sent the husband away. Rather, they will blame the woman. It is in paper that you cannot take a soldier outside the barracks, outside his family for more than 6 months. But we abuse it. I stayed 3 years, 8 months in Liberia without pass, no leave. I never came home. I spent another 2 years in Sierra Leone, 2 years, 6 months, no pass, no leave. Supposing I married and left my wife in the barrack, what will happen? You come back, body no be firewood, Sister Emma. If the woman is not strong, she will be tempted to, do some certain things. Okay? You, the husband, also over there, in fact, the Nigerian Army made it in such a way that they separate you from your family for those that married. So many things happened in the barrack. So many families were destroyed in the barracks. This is what I will tell you today. You see, when I got married to my wife here, there are issues. We do quarrel. Sometimes, in fact, especially with my own level of inexperience, when my wife took in, there were so many things that was going on that time. I never knew that was how it was. So I began to, this nagging, sometimes your wife will even raise her hand on you. You begin to say, is it the woman I married? Then I will smile and look at her condition with that big stomach. I smile and say, okay, and nobody knows. I don't know what is going on. So after some time, I begin to study her, and I now study my own self too. How do I react when this thing happens? I'm telling you based on my own experience. How do I react? Sometimes if it is too much, I will just enter into my car, whether it is night or whatever. I just drove off, go out, sit a place. Then after, when she must have, I feel that maybe she must have asleep, gone asleep. Then I will not come back home, And once you come back home, when she wake up and see you, that anger she was having that time, she was exhibiting that time, is gone. You see, so if you remain there that time, you cannot beat a woman in argument. By the time a man says 10 words, the woman has, gone more than 50 or 100 words. And most of them are not, are not palatable. You see, the man will be feeling, the lady I am taking care of, taking care of in this way, in my own house, feed and so on. Why? Who give you the authority to begin to challenge me like this? You see, tempers begin to flare. If that man is not capable to control himself at that particular moment, he will be tempted to raise the hand. I'm telling you based on experience. How do I curtail it? I'll just move away immediately. I'll just move away from that particular area, that vicinity immediately. I'll just step aside. Then after some time, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes, the temper has come down. Then I will come in and I look at my wife. I would like to, conversation, my sister, maturity and conversation. The reason why Nigeria is, you see agitators and they're killing the agitators in Nigeria is because Nigeria is that big fat uncle that doesn't want to listen to conversation. Dialogue, no. In family, couples dialogue. The man must initiate, take control of your house and dialogue with your wife. Call your wife. You are the owner of the house. Call her. My dear, what is the problem? Then from there, you begin to size her. You begin to, what and you will see. Women are very, very expressive. They don't hide their problem. They don't hide it, especially when they develop that love on that particular person. So that is how it is. It takes a very strong mind, strong willpower, and highly spirited man to control himself in that situation. That is how I've been living with my wife, and we have no problem since the time I got married. I've
I
never
mean,
raised my hand on her.
which one you say? That is an attack on the all the big fat uncles all over the world. Eh? You are saying that Nigeria is that big fat uncle that doesn't listen.
You see, you know that, but you see, if you let's bring it home. If you see a big fat uncle, let's say that Uncle B or whatever, Uncle Sam, that doesn't want to listen to, agree to roundtable discussions, my brother, you have problem, and that is why problem is happening over there today. Everywhere is problem. You see, so that is how I've been trying to manage. It is not easy, Sister Emma, but it takes the will of God in you, how do I put it, to withstand and to hold yourself when you find yourself in such situation. Some men cannot do it. Some men cannot do it. Some men doesn't have the mind, to endure, ask questions. You see that ego too? The ego of, I own this house, I bring you here, I married you. And so by the time we begin to express that, you see, the anger will be building and building and building. And the woman also might not stop using those vulgar words. You see, the next thing that will precede is physical abuse. That is why I say for every verbal abuse precedes, assault, physical assault. That's how I have been in my own space and how I've been taking care of it. And I've never had any problem so far. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Vine. We have a lady in the house, so please, 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 gentlemen, thank you very much. Hi, Lady Udoka, how you doing? It's good to have you on this broadcast.
Can we unmute and clap for the lady for coming?
Yes,
I
please.
am.
Welcome.
Welcome, lady.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, yes.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Emma. Emma, how are you? It's been a
I've been,
while.
it's been a while. It's good to have you here. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been
All
fine.
right. Have you been following the conversation?
Yeah, though I came late. Yeah. A bit, yes.
Okay. Okay.
hmm
So just go ahead with your submission then.
Okay. Where do I start from? Okay, I'll start from here. I think our society has really destroyed our women, and I think they have given our men in Africa. They have given our men too much authority over the women, to the extent that the women, um, uh, how do I say, the women sees our men as their lords and they put the men first instead of their own lives. Our women are so scared to leave their abusive husbands because of what people will say. And they don't even think, because if they leave, people will not even want to see the truth why she left. You see them judge, and you see the man going to tell lies about her, and you see them believing the man more than her. This is what Africa is. They listen more to the men more than the women. I think that's the reason why lots of women are scared to leave. So for instance, I think there's the lady that I know, the husband was so abusive, and he left her and got another lady pregnant. And when this lady left, the husband quickly ran home and told the whole people that the wife has left the home, and now she's now prostituting everywhere. Believe me, nobody will listen to this woman's own side of the story. You know why he did that? Because he want to cover up for his crime, for what he has done. So this is what Africa is, because, and again, our women are so scared. They don't want to, they are scared to end up alone. They are scared to grow old alone. They think our parents have taught the women that your dignity ends with a man. But that's not true. You have a life. Without this man, you have a life, and you have to really Take care of that life. Your life did not start with that man, and it's not gonna end with him. So our people has made it like they have made it clear to women in Africa that no matter what you do, if you don't have a husband at the end of the day, you'll be mocked for it. You know? So lots of women are scared to be alone. So no matter what the man do, you see them keeping quiet, you know, bearing it, not knowing that they are just wasting their own life, not knowing that they could die, not knowing that that is not good, that they need to pick up their life. And again, I think lots of women also need to get independent, no matter how little, no matter how small. Every woman out there should try to be independent, because when you're independent, trust me, he will look for you. He will need your time. He will need your attention. But when you're always in the house, when you want to do everything is him, of course he's going to get tired of you. And that's where the abuse will start coming. He will not respect you. This is it. Every woman should get independent. They should look for something to do with themselves, with their time. Not that don't always be there anytime, like you always have enough time for him. No, be scarce a bit. So that he will be the one, he will be the one needing you. When a man is needing you, trust me, there's no way he's gonna be abusing something he needs. But when you're always there, of course he's gonna get tired. So our women should please do something, no matter what. Stop being independent. Stop allowing the man to be the one providing for the family, doing everything. You want to make your hair, you want to buy something, is him. Then why won't he abuse you? Why? So Emma, thank you. This is really um I think I'm done. Thank you very much for the time.
All right, thank you very much, Lady Udoka. It was good to have you, and thank you for your submission. Thank you so very much. Mr. Kennedy, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time, Mr. Kennedy. All
Thank
right,
you.
Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the last speaker. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think I disagree a little bit when she said women should be kind of independent. Yes, that is true, but it's not going to be easy for women to be independent. Imagine a woman that is married at the age of probably 25 after she graduated at the age of 25, at the age of 26, 27, she has a baby. 29, she has another one. 31, she has another one. Probably four children, and she's taking care of this. How is she going to be independent? Where is how? It's not very possible. It depends. It behoves on the men to be able to take care of your wife. I think that is the way I see it. The men, you that impregnated this woman four times, and the woman had four children for you, you should be able to take care of the woman. Doesn't have to be independent for you to respect her. Being independent, I think, is in different ways. A woman that is taking care to me, a woman that is taking care of four children is very independent. It's actually more difficult for human beings to take care of the children than to go to work, because it's not easy. There was a time when my baby was still at the infancy stage, and my wife left him for me at home. After about 3 hours, I was calling my wife, please come back home and take care of your baby. I'm tired. It's not easy to take care of a baby. So these women that are home, they need to be respected. So that's the way I see it. Like Sister Emma, Mrs. Emma said, for this, like the issue that happened when the women will say they stay in abusive marriage because they want to take care of the children, they want the children to go to good schools and all that. Yes, it's fine. I think that is because of the economic disparity. That is why the women, like, if you look at this issue we are talking about now, there's a lot of disparity in this discussion, because some people are seeing it from the African perspective, some people are seeing it from the European perspective or the Western perspective, and some people, with somebody like me, are seeing it from Asian perspective, and more especially in the Japanese concept. The Japanese are very decent and very conserved people. Women don't make noise that much, but you don't discredit them. Like, for me, I have a house in Japan. I've never said this is my house. because it's actually very wrong for you to tell a Japanese wife that it's your house. The house actually belongs to the wife and the children, not you. If there's any problem, you're going to. Nobody is even coming to tell you to get out of the house. It is you that is going to. You will peacefully get out and leave the house for the wife and the children. That's how it works here. In Africa, because of the poverty, the woman has nowhere to go, and probably the parents are still having a lot of children. The rooms are not enough to go around, and where would the woman go with the children? So that is why the women want to stay there. They want to endure, and the family will always say, you know, in our family we don't divorce, so you don't bring that stigma here and all that. I think it's now the government to create more jobs for these people to be, to have something to do and to be able to take care of themselves. Otherwise, these women are going to continue to live in this abusive relationship because the men are so empowered, the men are so powerful because they bring this money and they talk down on the women. After all these things I've done for you, I've established a business for you, I built a house, I take care of the children, you think you have the right to talk to me the way you like. So I think it's because of the poverty. If the woman is actually in the best, she can even divorce. And if with the children you want to take care of, well, like in Japan, yeah, if you divorce, the government puts you in a kind of situation where they have to pay you every month. And if you want your children to go to that big school, you can take a loan. So everything is there. The government has put everything in place for the woman not to suffer. But in Nigeria, if you divorce, you are on your own. So where would the women go? I think it's now the duty of the government to, probably enact a law that will take care of these women so that these women don't have to stay in an abusive relationship for too long. If you have been abused, you have somewhere to go. I know all these agencies are there where to complain to, but even when you go to these agencies to complain, they will be the one to ask you, don't you know that he's your husband, that you have to respect him? So in Africa, things are not working. But anyway, my advice to men, please, you have to make sure you don't tell your woman to go and be independent. You as a man, you are already independent. You are taking care of the family. Your wealth belongs to both you and your wife and the whole children. And you don't have to bully your wife because she is not doing anything. Taking care of the children is even more than going to work every day. Thank you very much. My piece of advice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you. I would definitely be sharing this broadcast personally. Thank you very much for your submission. And thank you to those holding it down with me on this broadcast. Thank you. Please do also like, share, and invite someone onto the broadcast. Okay, Mr. Chubuzo, your submission, sir.
Yeah, Emma. Thank you once again. Um, just like my sister just mentioned about independent women being independent. Um, in Nigeria, where we come from,
So
in
let's
Ni-
not forget that there are men who beat their very wealthy wives. There is that part of it too. So
yeah, no,
that still
I'm still
doesn't, cross it.
I'm still coming to that. Well, what I'm trying to just chip in because of the independent women. You see, one problem we have in Nigeria is at least I can say about 80% of women in Nigeria or 85% women in Nigeria, they, they cannot feed themselves. That one is number one. Men are the superpower of the house where they belong to. So there is a lot of challenge in those areas, and there is nothing that woman can do. Even though that woman is selling tomato, you can see the level of life she will possess, and she cannot resist any man that comes to her and says, "I want to marry you and lift you out of poverty." And maybe on the process, things will still go wrong, you know. So women being independent is a quite challenge, very very big challenge in a Western world. Women can be independent because they do a decent job and a good salary. In Nigeria, I believe there is no decent job. The people who have a decent job, you can count them. So it's very big challenge for a woman, especially the Nigerian women. Very big challenge for them. Then when you come to the men with the rich men that are having a divorce or something, it's a nature for everybody because it doesn't mean that because you have money that make your marriage work. The money cannot make marriage work. What make marriage work is love that behind it. You know, A woman can pretend that I love you because of the money, but at the end of the day, you can see that that love is still not working. You can force yourself, do whatever you want to do. You cannot work. If you have the money, you buy her all kind of cars and stuff. But she will leave you in your bed and go and meet a poor man on the street and make love to that man. So, because that is where her life and love belongs to. So money play a very good role also in a marriage. That is, it depends how you manage that relationship, and observe the kind of individual you are dealing with. It's not about to having money, I can do anything because I have money. No, there is an individual. When you bring them into your life, you need to monitor them and know whether this marriage and this money can suit all of us, that so that we can live long. You know, why you see all these big men like somebody mentioned about senator, president, and all of them, they don't get divorced because of the woman have known she have known already that this man, there is a level, the standard this man is. So, and any woman that hang on such a man that with such a portfolio will never, no matter what that man do, he will never like to go for divorce. You know, so only maybe there is an abusive. Even though there is abusive, still the woman will hide it. He won't even tell you. He won't even tell you until maybe something happens. Then that is where you will know that there is a trouble in this marriage. We have a couple of men that have, I think Atuku have a divorce actually with the wife. I don't know if I'm correct. So it's not about the money, actually, it's all about attitude that is involved in that marriage, money or no money. There is a lot of things that attach to it. People don't understand. No, it's not because I have money, then you just jump yourself into me. Yeah, but you can come. But at the end of the day, when my character start changing, or you annoying me actually, or I'm annoying you, then we will start having a different view against each other. So a lot of things can go wrong. You know, though I will still respect that money still play a very 90% money, 90% of our life, money still play a very big role on it. But despite of that, there is a lot of challenges with the money. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chubuzo. But 90 sounds like a very, very large number. 90. But all right, Bella Naomi, thank you for being on this broadcast. The barrister, it was good having you. Thank you for being around. G. Simon, okay, this is your comment on recalibrating anger to, that was very funny. Thank you for being on this broadcast. Hey, Mommy Diaspora, thank you for being on this broadcast. Thank you, Osagbo. Thank you to each and every one of you. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to my amazing panelists. Thank you to each and every one of you. To those watching, hi, thank you. Thank you for being on here. Please do well to like this broadcast. Please take out time to like this broadcast. And also, please familiarize yourself with this features, the super text feature. For those of you watching the replay, please do well to support us by clicking on the super text. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right, to my amazing panelists, it has been quite a section today, and I say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you to each and every one of you, and I really mean that. Mr. Isbide, we've come to that place, and in light of everything that is going on, I mean, what would you have to say
Yeah,
to people doing your stuff, albeit little?
yes. Thank you so much. My sister that came on, and I don't know, but it is well. I hope we'll see her again. But the thing is, I think I will just end by saying that this thing of independence and all that. Well, to be honest with you, uh, there is there's always a reason why ladies say that, but it's not. I don't think it's the view of every woman, because the world we are living today, the world we are living in today, things are not exactly how some people perceive it to be. For example, at the end of the day, you're still dependent on someone, some organization, or some, in the grand scheme of things in the world we are in, you're still depending on somebody. So that's just how it is in life. And Many of us have seen some of the people probably we've worked with in the past. You find out that they are, of course, they have independent life, moving and doing their things. Then there is somebody that will come because everybody wants to rest. Everybody wants to don't. Everybody wants to kind of have a more relaxed life. So you find out that by the time they find someone that they feel that can really cover them, it doesn't mean that maybe they'll stop their job or anything, but they will still go under that person's financial covering just because it takes some significant amount of financial pressure off they themselves. So that's how it is in life. And but at the end of the day, like what Mr. Kennedy said, it's good for you to understand that when you're doing things for your family as a man, that is not, you're not doing like some extraordinary favor. That is the, it's just that unfortunately, with this kind of education that they're educating a lot of the young men nowadays, they are thinking in a certain way, thinking that they're like having the same responsibilities with ladies. But the same, but the truth is that when you're doing those things, you're supposed to do it as a man. That gives you um, a sense of fulfillment and purpose for your life. That's why you find out that in some of these relationships or marriages or whatever, you find out that mostly what usually kind of disturbs uh, the woman is different from what is disturbing the man in terms of worries. You find out that the man might be thinking so hard about, okay, where the next investment, the next place money will come out from, thinking about how to build maybe another house for the family. You know, those are that's mostly the kind of worries that comes to that man, or the kind of thoughts that he thinks. While not all women, not all women, but just some women, you find out that many of them think about uh, mostly other things that has to do with the day-to-day events happening in the house and some other very emotional stuff. So that's how it is for a man. Once you're doing that, that's why I said in the case of the news of this IVD and co and his wife, may God rest her soul. He, at some point, the best thing that I think he should have done, no matter how hard it was to just, even if it's the house, I know it might be hard sometimes, because of the financial situation, the economy of the nation, even Africa in general, it's hard to kind of let go of maybe if that's your only remaining property. But at some point, the mentality men should have is that if there is that kind of a situation, just leave. What are you leaving? If you're saying that you're not leaving it just for the wife, you're leaving it for, both for your kids. Because those children, she will be, no matter how she feels about you, she's still with them, and those children are like her life. So that's how it is. Everything you're getting, everything you're doing it for a family. That's why they say manhood is all about responsibility. So you take responsibility. This is how life is. And you cannot do what a woman can do. There is no way you can do. Can you go and lie down and give birth? Can you carry a child for months, even for a minute in your womb or in your stomach? Apart from that, can you raise a child? Can you nurture the child? There's a reason why children feels like their mother is their life. Can you nurture a child? So apart from that, just the that bond. So we cannot compare. So sometimes it's good to do your business. Nobody is stopping, especially in the world of today. A woman should do business. That's my own view. A woman can do business if she wants, anything that makes her happy. But if she's married, I really do not think a woman should be stressing herself on how the family will survive financially more than the man. In fact, not even close to what the man, because that is now the responsibility of the man. If not, what is the essence? Even the Bible says a man that cannot take care of his family is what? It's worse than an infidel. It's worse than someone that even cheats. So that's just how I see it. Men should learn to, um, at some point, like what Vine said, you cannot win arguments when it gets to argument. And sometimes you handle things differently. Step
All
away
right.
from the scene. You understand? Step away from the scene and come back. If there's a solution, you solve it. If you guys have come to a resolve, then you can move forward. But if there is no resolve, then just separate in peace. Separate in peace, because change is a conscious effort. It's not something that you assume somebody will change. If somebody is not telling you that, okay, I want to change, or I'm changing, I'm doing this and this to make sure it does not happen again, then there's no way you expect that that person will just automatically change. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Nsubidi. Mr. Vine, please, your final submission.
Thank you, Sister Emma. And I would just like to say that as a man, I pray that every man on this earth will at least be financially, if not 100%, at least 50% financially equipped to tackle most of the problems that will arise when he decides to pick a wife. And I also pray that everybody in that relationship or marriage, as I call it, will know their responsibilities as spelled out by the owner and the originator of the marriage itself. Once we begin to understand our various roles, things will be easier. That does not mean that there will be no quarrel, but I also pray that God will give the men in question now today the capability and the willpower to stand the excesses of our women. Most of times, most of the problem we have in the house are being caused by our women. And without a man with that self-will and courage, that manly, understanding, he will never, that house will never be peaceful. And that as the children, they produce offsprings, and as the offering watch their parents do most of these things, they will also grow into doing, repeating the same thing. It takes the Spirit of God to take away those, absorbed, characteristics of, their parents, physical in that the physical characteristics of their parents. As they witness is growing up, it is going to be difficult for them to get away with it. And if you want to really build a safe environment, safe community, please, I would like couples, men and women, to try as much as we can to make sure that we'll imbibe, or not to do things, negative things that our children will learn from us. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Vine. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes, thank you very much. Since this is the closing remark, uh, I want to pose this question to men all over the world. How many men would want to change his own father's name or surname to the surname of the wife? I'm not sure there's any man in Africa that would want to do that. You want to start answering the name of your wife's father. No man will want to take that. If you take that, your family will disown you. Why I'm saying this is, you see, I want to paint a very different scenario here. Uh, a man leaves a wife at home, a man takes a wife, and probably the wife is living with this man and the mother and the father and the brothers and sisters in the same house. And this man sometimes goes out with the friends to drink, and or maybe sometimes go to the club. And when he comes back, the woman starts complaining or nagging, and you complain that this woman is over nagging. You forgot that this woman, that since she was born, she has been answering her father's name. She has been used to her family. You eventually took her away from the parents and brought her to your home, changes her name from the father's name to your name. She's now feeling very insecure with your family. She's very secure with you when you are at home. And you left home for about 4 or 5 hours. She's living with people that she's insecure with, and you came back and you said she was nagging. She wasn't nagging. You have to be able to, understand the emotions and the insecurity of this woman. I think women are great people. My advice to men is for men to be able to understand that these women are sacrificing a lot. One, leaving their family house, that is their secured terrain, to your own terrain that is not secured for them, and the onus lies on us the men to secure these women. So we don't have to say that these women are, they will definitely complain because they always want you around. And my disagreement with, I think, Sister Udoka, not actually disagreement, I just wanted her to understand that the security, the independence of a woman, of a man, is that of a woman too. So if your husband is independent, you have to understand that the woman too, it shares from that independence. It's the same. The money of the husband belongs to the wife too. The women, they don't have to go out and toil under the sun because they want to be independent. If they can take care of the children, they can take care of the house, the domestic issues, cooking, laundry, and all that. I think they are equally independent. I think it's only in Africa we feel because we are just the people that brings the money back home. We are the ones that are independent, and we are more powerful than the women and all that. I think there should be equality between both the man and the woman. We should know how to respect the women and respect the children too, so that the family will be. If you want to have peace in your home, you have to respect the woman at home, and so that the respect will translate to we transcend to that of the children too. Thank you very much. I'll have to leave it here.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Kennedy, and thank you for taking our time to join this broadcast. I really do appreciate. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, that's it. You've heard from the panelists. Thank you so very much to each and every one of my panelists for dropping those nuggets that you did. Yeah, it's really been a good one on this broadcast. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you. To those on the comment section, thank you for engaging on the comment section. To those watching, thank you very much. Please do well to like this broadcast. Yes, please take out time to like the broadcast, share, and invite someone onto the broadcast. Remember to join our other lineups, the newspaper review, the chat, the discussions. Yes, discussions happens Monday to Thursday, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, and every Friday we have the debate, 6 p.m. Nigerian time. Take out time to join our other broadcast. Take out time to like our every broadcast and do what to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please take out time to do so. That will be all for now. Thank you so very much. So, have we heard of this news that has been distracting my attention? Saying something talking about China having a police station here in Nigeria. Has anybody heard of that news? None.
No, we haven't heard, but I'm sure they are coming gradually. You and I, we do not know the agreement that was reached by Amechi. Amechi refused to reveal the kind of agreement they reached with the countries they borrowed money from. So you can see, like last time we spoke about, China having taken over some, parastatals in other countries. I think somebody came to debunk it that it was a lie. But
I
gradually they are coming.
I hope this is. I mean, what would be okay? So just join us. Do want to join us in the evening. I'm sure that this topic will be coming up because it's buzzing everywhere on the internet. We'll be bringing more stories on that to you shortly. I know you guys are engaging on it already, but okay. So join us. You will have more information to give to you later on this evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you. So how did your program go?
Yeah, it was okay, but though stressful though because of the closeness. But anyway, God is
All
great.
right.
Thank you.
All right, all right. So it's good having you on the broadcast. Thank you very much, Mr. NCBD. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for the honor. Thank you, and to each and every one of you, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.